Science without religion is lame, religion without science is blind. A man's ethical behavior should be based effectually on sympathy, education, and social ties and needs. No religious basis is necessary. Man would indeed be in a poor way if he had to be restrained by fear of punishment and hope of reward after death. The more I study science, the more I believe in God. The minority, the ruling class at present, has the schools and press, usually the church as well, under its thumb. This enables it to organize and sway the emotions of the masses, and make its tool of them. Man would indeed be in a poor way if he had to be restrained by fear of punishment and hope of reward after death. Blind belief in authority is the greatest enemy of truth. If something is in me which can be called religious, then it is the unbounded admiration for the structure of the world so far as our science can reveal it. It seems to me that the idea of a personal God is an anthropological concept which I cannot take seriously. I also cannot imagine some will or goal outside the human sphere. Science has been charged with undermining morality, but the charge is unjust. A man's ethical behavior should be based effectually on sympathy, education, and social ties and needs. No religious basis is necessary. Man would indeed be in a poor way if he had to be restrained by fear of punishment and hope of reward after death. You cannot simultaneously prevent and prepare for war. It was, of course, a lie what you read about my religious convictions, a lie which is being systematically repeated. I do not believe in a personal God, and I have never denied this but have expressed it clearly. If something is in me which can be called religious, then it is the unbounded admiration for the structure of the world so far as our science can reveal it. I cannot imagine a God who rewards and punishes the objects of his creation, whose purposes are modeled after our own, a God, in short, who is but a reflection of human frailty. Neither can I believe that the individual survives the death of his body, although feeble souls harbor such thoughts through fear or ridiculous egotisms. What I see in nature is a magnificent structure that we can comprehend only very imperfectly, and that must fill a thinking person with a feeling of humility. This is a genuinely religious feeling that has nothing to do with mysticism. I do not believe in immortality of the individual, and I consider ethics to be an exclusively human concern with no superhuman authority behind it. Since our inner experiences consist of reproductions, and combinations of sensory impressions, the concept of a soul without a body seemed to me to be empty and devoid of meaning. If people are good because they fear punishment, and hope for reward, then we are a sorry lot indeed. The word God is for me nothing more than the expression and product of human weaknesses, and religious scripture a collection of honorable, but still primitive legends which are nevertheless pretty childish. No interpretation, no matter how subtle, can, for me, change this. I do not believe in the God of theology who rewards good and punishes evil. My God created laws that take care of that. His universe is not ruled by wishful thinking, but by immutable laws. God reveals himself in the orderly harmony of what exists. I am a deeply religious non-believer. This is a somewhat new kind of religion. I do not believe in the God of theology who rewards good and punishes evil. The family that prays together is brainwashing their children. True religion is real living, living with all one's soul, with all one's goodness and righteousness. The word God is for me nothing more than the expression and product of human weaknesses. The further the spiritual evolution of mankind advances, the more certain it seems to me that the path to genuine religiosity does not lie through the fear of life, and the fear of death, and blind faith, but through striving after rational knowledge. The fanatical atheists are like slaves who are still feeling the weight of their chains which they have thrown off after hard struggle. They are creatures who, in their grudge against traditional religion as the opium of the masses, cannot hear the music of the spheres. A knowledge of the existence of something we cannot penetrate, of the manifestations of the profoundest reason and the most radiant beauty, it is this knowledge and this emotion that constitute the truly religious attitude. In this sense, and in this alone, I am a deeply religious man. I have repeatedly said that in my opinion the idea of a personal God is a childlike one. For me the Jewish religion, like all other religions, is an incarnation of the most childish superstitions. I cannot imagine a God who rewards and punishes the objects of his creation and is but a reflection of human frailty. For me the Jewish religion, like all other religions, is an incarnation of the most childish superstitions. I don't try to imagine a personal God, it suffices to stand in awe at the structure of the world, insofar as it allows our inadequate senses to appreciate it. My deep religiosity found an abrupt ending at the age of 12, through the reading of popular scientific books. I cannot conceive of a God who rewards and punishes his creatures, or has a will of the kind that we experience in ourselves. Neither can I nor would I want to conceive of an individual that survives his physical death. Let feeble souls, from fear or absurd egoism, cherish such thoughts. I am satisfied with the mystery of the eternity of life and with the awareness and a glimpse of the marvelous structure of the existing world, together with the devoted striving to comprehend the portion, be it ever so tiny, of the reason that manifests itself in nature. From the viewpoint of a Jesuit priest, I am, of course, and have always been, an atheist. Just because you believe in something does not mean that it is true. I came, though the child of entirely irreligious, Jewish, parents, to a deep religiousness, which, however, reached an abrupt end at the age of 12. The bigotry of the non-believer is for me nearly as funny as the bigotry of the believer. The idea of a personal God is an anthropological concept which I am unable to take seriously. Scientific research is based on the idea that everything that takes place is determined by laws of nature, and therefore this holds for the action of people. For this reason, a research scientist will hardly be inclined to believe that events could be influenced by a prayer, i.e. by a wish addressed to a supernatural being. The foundation of morality should not be made dependent on myth nor tied to any authority, lest doubt about the myth or about the legitimacy of the authority imperil the foundation of sound judgment and action. I cannot conceive of a God who rewards and punishes his creatures, or has a will of the type of which we are conscious in ourselves. An individual who should survive his physical death is also beyond my comprehension, nor do I wish it otherwise. Such notions are for the fears or absurd egoism of feeble souls. The more a man is imbued with the ordered regularity of all events, the firmer becomes his conviction that there is no room left by the side of this ordered regularity for causes of a different nature. For him neither the rule of human nor the rule of divine will exist as an independent cause of natural events. If this being is omnipotent, then every occurrence, including every human action, every human thought, and every human feeling and aspiration is also his work. How is it possible to think of holding men responsible for their deeds and thoughts before such an almighty being? In giving out punishment and rewards he would to a certain extent be passing judgment on himself. How can this be combined with the goodness and righteousness ascribed to him? Only if every individual strives for truth can humanity attain a happier future. The atavisms in each of us that stand in the way of a friendlier destiny can only thus be rendered ineffective. However, we select from nature a complex of phenomena, using the criterion of simplicity. In no case will its theoretical treatment turn out to be forever appropriate, sufficient. I do not doubt that the day will come when general relativity, too, will have to yield to another one, for reasons which at present we do not yet surmise. I believe that this process of deepening theory has no limits. I do not believe in a personal God, and I have never denied this but have expressed it clearly. I received your letter of June 10th. I have never talked to a Jesuit priest in my life, and I am astonished by the audacity to tell such lies about me. From the viewpoint of a Jesuit priest I am, of course, and have always been an atheist. The contemplation of this world beckoned as a liberation. The road to this paradise was not as comfortable and alluring as the road to the religious paradise, but it has shown itself reliable, and I have never regretted having chosen it. You accept the historical Jesus? There lies the weaknesses of positivists and professional atheists who are elated because they feel that they have not only successfully rid the world of gods but bared the miracles. That is, explained the miracles. Oddly enough, we must be satisfied to acknowledge the miracle without there being any legitimate way for us to approach it. I am forced to add that just to keep you from thinking that weakened by age I have fallen prey to the clergy. I am satisfied with the mystery of the eternity of life. The contemplation of this world beckoned as a liberation. The road to this paradise was not as comfortable and alluring as the road to the religious paradise, but it had shown itself reliable, and I have never regretted having chosen it.